The quantum sensors aboard Titan Station hummed their familiar song as Commander Elena Santos completed her midnight inspection. After 15 years of service at humanity's furthest deep space monitoring post, she knew every vibration, every subtle fluctuation in the background radiation of space. That's why when the pattern changed, just slightly, she noticed immediately. "Dr. Chen," she called out, her augmented eyes already processing the anomalous readings. "Are you seeing this?" The station's chief scientist looked up from his holographic displays, his cybernetic interface ports glowing softly in the dim light of the command center. "Yes, Commander. The quantum field distortions are unlike anything in our database. But the pattern..." He paused, his fingers dancing through the air as he manipulated invisible data streams. "It matches the theoretical models for mass displacement in subspace." Elena felt her pulse quicken. After all these years of waiting, of preparing, it was finally happening. "How many?" "Initial readings suggest a fleet. At least 30 capital ships, possibly more." Dr. Chen's voice remained steady, professional, but Elena could see the tension in his shoulders. "They're using some form of faster-than-light travel we haven't encountered before." Elena nodded, already activating her neural link to the station's secure quantum communications array. Time to arrival. At current velocity, 72 hours to reach Saturn's orbit. The commander allowed herself a small smile. More than enough time. "Send the alert. Protocol Avalon is now in effect." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum relays carried Elena's message at speeds that defied conventional physics. In underground bases on Mars, synthetic diamond computer cores spun to life. Beneath the ice of Europa, massive fabrication facilities began powering up their fusion reactors. And in high orbit around Earth, what appeared to be civilian space stations began subtle, almost imperceptible transformations. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. In her office aboard the United Earth Defense Force Command Station, Admiral Sarah Chen, no relation to the scientist on Titan Station, reviewed the incoming data with practiced calm. The wall-sized quantum displays showed the approaching alien fleet in exquisite detail, their ships unlike anything humans had publicly acknowledged seeing before. Their Concordat vessels, her AI assistant confirmed, its holographic avatar materializing beside her desk. "The design aesthetics and energy signatures match our long-range observations perfectly." Sarah nodded, remembering the day, 15 years ago, when humanity's quantum telescopes had first detected the Concordat. The alien civilization had never noticed Earth's subtle observations, never realized that their every transmission, their every ship movement, had been carefully cataloged and analyzed. The Concordat considered themselves the supreme technological power in this sector of space, but they had never encountered humanity's unique approach to advancement. "Status of Project Vanguard?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. She had overseen its development personally. "All systems nominal," the AI responded. "The Hyperion is ready. Quantum cores are stable, and the crew has maintained combat readiness as ordered. The other ships in the fleet are at 97% combat effectiveness." Sarah stood, walking to the window that overlooked Earth. The planet glowed with the lights of a civilization that had chosen to grow up rather than out, developing technologies that worked with nature rather than against it. There were no sprawling cities, no visible signs of industrial pollution. Earth appeared almost pristine from space, exactly as they had planned. "Send word to the President," she ordered. "It's time to show the galaxy that humanity has moved beyond its cradle." The Concordat fleet approached with supreme confidence. Grand Admiral Zexkar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the light of distant stars. The primitive radio signals they had detected from this system had suggested a species barely worth noting, still struggling with basic particle physics and crude chemical rockets. "Status report," he commanded, his translator converting his native electromagnetic pulses into audible speech. "The system contains 8 planets, my lord," his science officer responded. The third planet shows signs of civilization, but nothing beyond Type 0 development. Their most advanced structures appear to be primitive orbital habitats and a small research station on their moon. Zexkar's crystalline appendages shifted in what his species considered a smile. Prepare the standard first contact protocols. Show them our ships in full glory. Let them understand the futility of resistance before we begin negotiations for their protection under Concordat law. The science officer hesitated. My lord, there is something odd about their orbital structures. The energy readings are inconsistent with their apparent technological level. Explain. They appear to be simple habitats, but our sensors cannot fully penetrate their outer shells. There are traces of quantum-level activity that shouldn't be possible for. The officer never finished his sentence. Throughout the Concordat fleet, alarms began blaring as the primitive orbital habitats began to change. Layers of metamaterials designed to mimic simple metal and plastic shed their camouflage, revealing crystalline structures that put the Concordat's own technology to shame. What had appeared to be solar panels unfolded into massive weapon arrays that operated on principles the alien sensors couldn't even classify. And at the center of it all, the largest of the stations transformed into something that made Grand Admiral Zexkar's crystalline form vibrate with shock. A warship larger than anything in the Concordat fleet, its hull composed of materials that seemed to drink in light itself. A transmission cut through every frequency, its perfect translation into the Concordat's own language another impossibility to add to the growing list. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force vessel Hyperion. You have entered restricted space. The solar system is under human protection. Stand by to receive our terms for diplomatic contact. Zexkar stared at the massive vessel, his confidence evaporating like stellar ice under a supernova. They had come to show a primitive species the power of the Concordat. Instead, they found themselves facing the civilization that had hidden its true nature behind a veil of carefully crafted deception. The game of first contact was about to become far more interesting than anyone in the Concordat. Grand Admiral Zexkar had never felt uncertainty in his 4 centuries of service to the Concordat. Until now. The massive human warship hung in space before his fleet, its very existence challenging everything he thought he knew about technological progression. Analysis, he demanded, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. Their hull composition, it is impossible, Lord Admiral, his science officer reported. It appears to be a quantum crystalline matrix, but the complexity exceeds our own technology by several orders of magnitude. Their power readings are off our scales, and we're detecting spatial distortions consistent with localized gravity manipulation. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Admiral Sarah Chen watched the alien fleet's confusion with calculated satisfaction. The quantum AI cores threaded throughout the ship's systems provided real-time analysis of the Concordat vessel's every reaction. They're scanning us with everything they have, Lieutenant Commander Marcus Wong reported from his tactical station. Their sensors are impressive, but they can't penetrate our outer defensive layers. Sarah nodded, her augmented eyes processing multiple data streams simultaneously. Deploy the Sentinel drones. Let's give them something else to think about. From concealed bays along the Hyperion's hull, thousands of small crystalline objects emerge. Each no larger than a human hand, they move with impossible precision, forming complex geometric patterns in space. To the Concordat sensors, they appeared to violate several laws of physics simultaneously. The human vessel is launching some kind of devices, Zexkar's tactical officer announced, his usual confidence wavering. They're generating quantum field interactions that speak clearly, officer. Anticipated. My lord, they're creating stable micro-wormholes, thousands of them. The entire formation is now quantumly entangled with itself and something else, something beyond our sensor range. In her command chair, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Concordat was about to learn why humanity had chosen to develop its technology along very different lines than most species. Open a channel to their flagship, she ordered. Let's see how they handle the next revelation. The communication request came through on all frequencies simultaneously, accompanied by a data packet that automatically interfaced with the Concordat systems. Another display of technological superiority that made Zexkar's crystalline appendages twitch with discomfort. The human admiral's image appeared on his command screen, her augmented eyes gleaming with an inner light that spoke of technology seamlessly merged with biology. Grand Admiral Zexkar, she said, speaking his language perfectly. I trust our Sentinel drone display has made an impression. Zexkar fought to maintain his composure. You speak our language. You know my name and rank. We know considerably more than that, Admiral. We've been studying the Concordat for 15 years. Every transmission, every ship movement, every technological advancement. We know about the recent rebellions in your outer colonies. We know about your ongoing conflict with the hegemony on your coreward border. And we know exactly why you're here. The bridge of the Eternal Dominion fell silent. 15 years of covered observation. Impossible. The Concordat's stealth and encryption technologies were the most advanced in known space. If you've been watching us, Zexkar said carefully, then you know the Concordat's power. We come offering protection, inclusion in our sphere of influence. Your technology is impressive, but surely you understand the benefits of joining a greater civilization. Sarah's smile widened slightly. Perhaps you misunderstand the situation, Admiral. We're not potential subjects. We're offering you an alliance. Before Zexkar could respond, his tactical officer cut in. My lord, we're detecting quantum signatures identical to their drones throughout Concordat space. They're everywhere, near every major world, every fleet base, every strategic location. We call it the quantum web, Sarah explained calmly. Those primitive orbital habitats you detected, they're not our most advanced technology. They're our first generation of space stations, practically antiques by our standards. We kept them in orbit as part of our camouflage. Zexkar's tactical mind raced, reevaluating everything he thought he knew about this encounter. You could have attacked us at any time. We could have, but that's not why we revealed ourselves today. Sarah's expression grew serious. We detected something approaching from beyond the galactic rim. Something that has both our civilizations in its path. Something that makes our combined technology look primitive in comparison. The Admiral's crystalline form shifted colors in shock. The deep signal, he whispered. The mysterious transmission that Concordat deep space arrays had detected months ago, coming from intergalactic space. The signal that had defied all analysis and filled their best scientists with dread. Yes, Sarah confirmed. We detected it too. And unlike your analysts, our quantum processors were able to decode a portion of it. What's coming isn't interested in alliances or subjugation, Admiral. They're interested in extinction. Total galactic extinction. Through the quantum link, Sarah transmitted data that made Zexkar's scientists gasp in horror. The decoded portions of the signal, the analysis, the projections, all pointing to a threat beyond anything the Concordat had imagined. This is why we waited, Sarah continued. Why we let you think we were primitive while we studied your civilization. We needed to know if you could be allies before we revealed ourselves. Because what's coming will require both our civilizations working together and several others we've been watching. Zexkar stared at the human admiral's image, his tactical mind already processing the implications. The Concordat's arrogance had nearly started a war with a civilization that could have destroyed them at any time. Instead, these humans were offering partnership in the face of a greater threat. Perhaps, he said slowly, his translator struggling to convey the complex harmonics of his natural speech, we should discuss the terms of this alliance. The Sentinel drones continued their complex dance between the two fleets, their quantum fields singing with possibilities of cooperation rather than conflict. On the Hyperion's bridge, Sarah Chen nodded in satisfaction. Phase 1 of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage was proceeding exactly as planned. Now they just had to prepare for what was coming from the darkness between galaxies. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, beyond Neptune's orbit, humanity's most advanced quantum sensors detected the first ripples of something massive entering real space. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the Hyperion's observation deck, watching as space itself seemed to twist and tear. Their earlier than projected, Grand Admiral Zexkar noted, his crystalline form reflecting the strange light of the spatial distortion. In the week since first contact, the Concordat leader had remained aboard the Hyperion, learning that human technology wasn't just advanced. It operated on principles his civilization had never even theorized. The deep signal was a warning, Sarah replied, her augmented eyes tracking quantum fluctuations invisible to normal sight. They wanted us to know they were coming. They wanted us to fear. The tear in space expanded, and something emerged that made even the Hyperion's quantum sensors struggle to maintain focus. A vessel that seemed to be made of living darkness, its surface rippling with patterns that hurt the mind to observe. By the first crystal, Zexkar whispered, his translator barely able to convey his horror. It's larger than a gas giant. Sarah's expression remained calm, but her neural link to the ship's systems was already initiating combat protocols. All forces, battle stations. Execute Operation Lightbringer. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses awakened. The quantum web of sentinel drones began pulsing with energy that defied conventional physics. On Mars and Europa, massive doors opened in the surface, revealing weapon systems that had been centuries in development. Concordat fleet, maintain formation behind the Hyperion. Sarah ordered, your energy weapons will be ineffective against their hull. Focus on maintaining the quantum shield grid we provided. The alien vessel made no attempt at communication. From its impossibly dark surface, smaller ships began to emerge, if they could be called ships. They moved like living things, their forms constantly shifting and changing. Multiple contacts, Lieutenant Commander Wong reported. They're accelerating toward Mars. Energy readings suggest. He paused, his neural interfaces struggling to process the data. They're trying to initiate some kind of dimensional collapse. As expected, Sarah said quietly, they're not here to conquer. They're here to erase this reality's quantum signature, to make it so we never existed at all. She turned to Zexkar. Are you ready to see why we hid our true capabilities for so long? The Concordat Admiral's crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy. Show me. Sarah's augmented eyes glowed brighter as she connected directly to the Hyperion's quantum core. Initiate Protocol Genesis. The sentinel drones surrounding the combined human Concordat fleet suddenly changed their formation. The micro-wormholes they had been generating collapsed inward, creating a cascading wave of quantum energy that rippled through space like a stone thrown into a cosmic pond. On the surface of Mars, massive arrays of crystalline structures that had been disguised as natural formations began to pivot and align. Similar arrays emerged from Europa's ice, from Venus's cloud tops, from structures hidden in Mercury's crater shadows. Target lock confirmed, Wong announced. Quantum resonance at maximum. Reality anchor points stabilized. Fire. The arrays activated simultaneously. Beams of pure quantum energy, more focused and powerful than anything the Concordat had ever witnessed, converged on a single point in space directly in front of the alien vessel. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then reality itself screamed. The quantum beams had created what human scientists called a probability lens, a point where all possible quantum states existed simultaneously. When the alien vessel's dimensional collapse wave hit this lens, it reflected back on itself, amplified, and twisted by the quantum resonance of the Sentinel drone network. The effect was devastating. Where the dark ship's smaller vessels had been attempting to erase reality, they found themselves being erased instead, their own weapon turned against them by human ingenuity. By all that's sacred, Zexkar breathed, watching as the attackers literally ceased to exist. their quantum signatures unraveling like threads pulled from a cosmic tapestry. Your weapons don't just destroy. They remove things from existence itself. Not destruction. Sarah corrected. Translation. We're not erasing them. We're shifting their quantum signatures to a parallel reality where they never formed in the first place, fighting entropy with entropy. The main vessel reacted to the loss of its attack craft with surprising speed. Its surface rippled with patterns of anti-light, and space around it began to twist in ways that made the Concordat sensors overload and shut down. They're attempting a full-dimensional collapse, Wang reported. Scale is impossible. They're trying to take the entire solar system with them. Sarah's expression hardened. All arrays, full power. Sentinel swarms. Initiate quantum lockdown. Show them why humanity chose to master reality itself, rather than just the physical universe. The Sentinel drones moved again, their formation shifting into complex geometric patterns that somehow existed in more dimensions than space should allow. The quantum web lit up across the solar system, creating a lattice of pure probability that trapped the alien vessel in a cage of quantum certainty. Reality anchor holding, Wang confirmed. Their dimensional collapse is contained. Sarah turned to Zexkar. Now, Admiral, would you like to see why we really invited the Concordat to join us? The crystalline Admiral's form shifted in confusion. This was not the demonstration. This was just the defense. Sarah's augmented eyes gleamed. Your crystalline technology, combined with our quantum manipulation, together we can do more than just stop them. We can find their source universe and end this threat permanently. As if to emphasize her point, the Hyperion's hull began to transform, quantum crystalline structures growing and reshaping themselves in ways that made Zexkar's scientific understanding feel primitive. Welcome, Sarah said, to the real war. The war for reality itself. The alien vessel hung trapped in the quantum web, its attempts at dimensional collapse contained by human technology and Concordat crystalline engineering working in perfect harmony. In the space between moments, between realities, humanity prepared to take its first steps into a conflict that would determine not just the fate of one universe, but of all possible universes. The game had changed, and the rules were about to be rewritten at the quantum level. The quantum computing core of the Hyperion hummed with calculations beyond conventional mathematics as Sarah Chen and Zexkar studied the holographic display of the captured alien vessel. After 3 days of containment, the dark ship remained an enigma that challenged both human and Concordat understanding of reality. Your scientists were right, Zexkar admitted, his crystalline form shifting through colors that indicated deep thought. The vessel's quantum signature doesn't match our universe. It's like looking at a shadow of something that exists in dimensions we can't perceive. Sarah nodded, her augmented eyes tracking probability patterns in the ship's surface. We call them the Void Architects. They don't just travel between dimensions. They reshape reality itself. Every universe they've encountered has been rewritten, erased and rebuilt according to their own laws of physics. The hologram shifted, showing the quantum web of Sentinel drones still maintaining their reality anchor around the massive ship. Every attempt to communicate had been met with silence, but the vessel's surface continued its hypnotic, reality-bending patterns. Commander Wang, Sarah called out. Status of the integration protocols. Marcus Wang's hands danced through holographic interfaces as his neural links processed data streams. Concordat crystalline technology is adapting to our quantum systems better than projected. Their phase-shifted energy matrices are enhancing our reality anchors by 47%. But, speak freely, Commander. Something's changing in the alien vessel. The quantum fluctuations are becoming more organized. It's like it's learning from our containment field. Deep within the Hyperion's quantum core, artificial intelligences far beyond traditional computing analyze the data. Through her neural link, Sarah felt their growing concern. The Void Architects weren't just studying their prison. They were understanding it at a fundamental level. We need to act now, she declared. Prepare the phase shift drive. It's time to show the Concordat why we really needed their help. Zexcar's crystalline form pulsed with surprise. The phase shift drive. Our analysts haven't detected any unusual propulsion systems on the Hyperion. Sarah's smile held secrets accumulated over centuries of human preparation. That's because it's not a propulsion system, Admiral. Lieutenant Commander Wong, initiate Protocol Orpheus. The Hyperion's quantum crystalline hull began to change, sections shifting and realigning in ways that seemed to fold through extra dimensions. The Sentinel drones adjusted their formation, their micro-wormholes creating a complex network of quantum tunnels throughout local space. By the first crystal, Zexcar whispered as understanding dawned. Your ship, it's not just a warship, it's a reality drive. Humanity learned early that conventional space travel would never be enough. Sarah explained as the transformation continued. We needed to do more than just move through space. We needed to move through possibility itself. Warning signals flashed through the quantum web as the dark ship's surface began to ripple more violently. The reality anchor held, but sensors detected growing instabilities in local spacetime. They're making their move, Wong reported. Dimensional collapse initiating within the containment field. They're trying to take themselves out of our reality entirely. Sarah's expression hardened. Perfect. They're doing exactly what we wanted. All stations, prepare for phase shift. Admiral Zexcar, I suggest you brace yourself. Reality is about to become subjective. The Concordat Admiral's form pulsed with nervous energy as he watched the Hyperion's bridge transform around them. Walls became transparent, showing not just the space outside but seemingly infinite layers of possibility, stacked like pages in a cosmic book. Your crystalline technology, Sarah continued, is the key we've been waiting for. Your people learned to manipulate matter at its most fundamental level. We learned to manipulate reality itself. Together. She never finished the sentence. The dark ship's dimensional collapse reached its peak, creating a tear in the fabric of spacetime. But instead of escaping, it found itself caught in a trap centuries in the making. Now, Sarah commanded. The Hyperion's reality drive activated, using the Void Architect's own dimensional collapse as a gateway. The quantum web of Sentinel drones, amplified by Concordat crystalline technology, created a bridge not just between spaces, but between possibilities. Through her neural link, Sarah felt the ship phase between realities, tracking the dark vessel's quantum signature back to its source. The view outside the bridge showed impossible geometries, universes stacked upon universes, each with its own laws of physics, its own version of history. This is impossible, Zexcar breathed, his translator struggling to convey his awe. You're following them through dimensional collapse. Not following, Sarah corrected, hurting. Every reality they try to escape to, we're there first. The quantum web isn't just a weapon or a shield. It's a map of all possible universes. And now, with your crystalline technology stabilizing our quantum fields, the implications hit Zexcar like a supernova. You can track them to their origin point, to the universe they came from. Better than that, Admiral. We can track them to the moment they first began their campaign of universal reconstruction. And with the combined power of human quantum manipulation and Concordat crystal engineering, the dark ship's surface patterns became increasingly erratic as it found every escape route blocked, every possible reality already mapped and waiting. The hunters had become the hunted, their own mastery of dimensional physics turned against them by species they had dismissed as primitive. Reality anchor holding, Wong reported with professional pride. We're maintaining quantum coherence across all probability paths. The Concordat fleet is successfully mimicking our phase variants. Sarah allowed herself a small smile of satisfaction. Take us deeper, Commander. Let's show our new friends why humanity chose to master the art of possibility itself. The Hyperion led the combined fleet through layers of reality toward a confrontation that would determine the fate not just of their universe, but of all possible universes. As they traveled through the quantum foam between realities, Sarah Chen reflected that first contact had gone exactly as humanity had planned. Sometimes the best way to forge an alliance was to face an impossible enemy together. Through the quantum foam between realities, the combined human Concordat fleet pursued their quarry. The Hyperion led the formation, its reality drive cutting through layers of possibility like a blade through silk. Inside the bridge, Sarah Chen watched as the dark ship's quantum signature grew stronger, indicating they were approaching its origin point. Multiple dimensional interfaces detected, Wang reported, his neural links processing data faster than organic thought. We're seeing echoes, thousands of them, previous victims of their reality reconstruction. The holographic displays showed fragments of dead universes, realities that had been erased and rewritten by the Void Architects, each one a testament to civilizations that had faced this threat without humanity's preparation or the Concordat's crystalline technology. Your people knew, Zexkar said quietly, his crystalline form pulsing with understanding. You knew this was coming. That's why you hid your true capabilities, why you studied us in secret. You were preparing for this moment. Sarah's augmented eyes tracked probability patterns that existed beyond normal spacetime. We detected their first attempts at dimensional reconstruction 300 years ago. Quantum echoes from universes they had already changed. We knew conventional weapons would be useless against beings that could rewrite reality itself. So you became something more than conventional. We had to. Humanity united under a single purpose, not to fight them directly, but to understand the nature of reality itself, to learn how to protect not just our universe, but all possible universes. The dark ship suddenly changed course, its surface rippling with patterns that seemed to mock the very concept of existence. The reality drive compensated automatically, keeping pace through dimensions that had no names in human or Concordat language. They're trying to reach their nexus point, Wang announced. The quantum signature is intensifying. This is where they first learned to manipulate dimensional barriers. Sarah nodded grimly. All ships prepare for final phase shift. Admiral Zexkar, it's time to show you why we really needed the Concordat's help. The Hyperion's quantum crystalline hull began to resonate with the Concordat vessel's energy matrices. What had seemed like simple technological compatibility revealed itself as something far more profound. The crystalline structures that both civilizations had developed along different paths began to synchronize at a quantum level. By the first crystal, Zexkar breathed, watching as new patterns emerged in the fabric of reality itself. The resonance. It's creating something new. Not new, Sarah corrected. Ancient. As old as the universe itself. Your people learned to manipulate the crystalline nature of matter. We learned to manipulate the crystalline nature of reality. Together, the dark ship suddenly found itself surrounded not just by vessels, but by a crystalline lattice that existed in all possible realities simultaneously. The quantum web of sentinel drones, enhanced by Concordat technology, had become something beyond either civilization's original design. We're approaching their origin point, Wang reported. Dimensional stability at maximum. Reality anchor holding across all probability paths. Through her neural link, Sarah felt the ship's AI cores calculating possibilities that stretched beyond human comprehension. The Void Architects had sought to rewrite reality according to their own design. Instead, they had led their pursuers directly to the source of their power. Initialized final protocol, she ordered. Show them why humanity chose to become guardians of possibility rather than masters of a single reality. The combined fleet's quantum crystalline matrix reached its peak resonance. In that moment, as reality itself held its breath, Sarah Chen revealed humanity's true masterpiece. Not a weapon to destroy their enemy, but a gift to reshape the very nature of existence. The crystalline lattice didn't just trap the Void Architects. It offered them a choice, a new way of existing that didn't require the destruction and reconstruction of other realities. The quantum resonance between human and Concordat technology, created a bridge between all possible states of existence. Understanding, Sarah explained to a stunned Zexkar, was always our true goal. Not victory, not dominance, but comprehension. The Void Architects sought to rewrite reality because they couldn't see how to exist within its natural flow. We're showing them another way. The dark ship's surface patterns change, no longer chaotic and threatening, but curious, investigating, learning. The quantum sensors detected something new in its dimensional signature, recognition. They're responding, Wong announced with barely contained excitement. The dimensional collapse is reversing. They're attempting to communicate. Sarah smiled, but her expression held a hint of sadness for all the universes that had been lost before this moment. Open a quantum channel. Let's show them what reality can become when we work together instead of trying to overwrite each other. As the first true communication between three vastly different species began, Zexkar turned to his human ally. You never needed our weapons or our fleets, he realized. You needed our perspective, our understanding of crystalline structures at a fundamental level. The universe itself is a crystal, Sarah confirmed, growing, changing, but fundamentally connected. Every possibility, every reality, every choice, all facets of the same cosmic structure. We needed the Concordat to help us complete the pattern. The dark ship's surface now pulsed with patterns that matched the quantum crystalline matrix surrounding it. Not surrendering, but joining in a dance of possibility that promised to reshape the relationship between all realities, all species, all states of existence. Humanity had achieved its greatest victory not through destruction, but through understanding. Not by erasing a threat, but by transforming it into an opportunity for growth that stretched across all possible universes. As the combined fleet prepared to return to their home reality, Sarah Chen reflected that this was only the beginning. The universe, all universes, were about to enter a new age of exploration and cooperation that would make their previous achievements seem primitive by comparison. The Silent Vanguard had completed its mission, not with thunder and destruction, but with the crystal clarity of universal understanding.